Good morning, it's Friday, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Koirach, Chikas in Israel. Dalet Tammuz Tuvshin Pai Vuv is June 19th, 2026. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host with the news of the last 24 hours. Let's get right into it.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
Alright, so there's good news and bad news. Which one do you want to start with? We'll start with the good news. Oil is flowing again through the Strait of Hormuz. This brings relief to countries and markets around the world. But the US-Iran agreement, the MOU, is still on shaky grounds, of course. Israel and Hezbollah still fighting. And Israel's aerospace industries has carried out another test of a LORA ballistic missile, LORA. While peace is still hard to find in the Middle East, there is still one place where people are coming together. And that is Reb Chaim Itzkevich and the Blazer Nihos, obviously, from the Yiddish play industry. We'll talk about it soon. All that and it's beautiful. Here, coming up on Edge. But before we do so, you know that you have to hydrate. And by hydrating, I mean you have to drink water, which is actually healthy for you. Your body needs a 7.5 pH, to be able to fight all those viruses coming in to your body. So, water is one way. Hydrating is another. But hydrating with Halo 2, that's a whole different story. You're fully armored with that, You can find these Halo 2 bottles in your local grocery stores everywhere. It's a plastic bottle with a white label with nice blue letters inscribed Halo 2. You can think of it as Hello 2. Hello, remember that one? pH level 9+. Find it in your local grocery stores. All right, let's jump into the news. Now, here is the thing. We'll talk about kosher skinny shots soon, no problem. Yes, we will. Here on Edge, we will be playing good news and bad news because the newly signed US-Iran agreement has a lot of both. So, first let's start with the good news. Almost 20 ships safely sailed through the Strait of Hormuz overnight. In total, they carried 12.5 million barrels of oil. Before the war, 14 million barrels, obviously, passed through the Strait of Hormuz every single day. So they were just 1.5 million barrels short, only 1.5 million. Prices have fallen by 11% since Sunday. The national average of a gallon of regular gas has dropped back to $4 a gallon, which is major news. Trump posted on Truth Social saying, quote, "Oil is flowing. And Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. In brackets, the world will be safe. The stock market," he continues, "are roaring. Jobs are at records and prices are dropping. In brackets, affordability. Exclamation mark. Our country is strong, safe, and respected like never before. You're welcome," he says. A major update just came in. Israel and Hezbollah agreed to a ceasefire this afternoon, led by Marco Rubio, who was on the phone with them after a heavy day of fighting. The truce took effect at 4 o'clock Lebanon time and was put together by the United States, Qatar, working with Israel on one side and Iran on the other. Israel says its troops will stay in the buffer zone inside southern Lebanon and will hit back hard if Hezbollah attacks again. But it's already shaky. Hezbollah is accusing Israel of breaking the ceasefire, and there were more strikes even after it was announced. Here is what led up to it. The Switzerland talks that were supposed to happen today in Geneva, on the Alps, right, got pushed off because of the fighting in Lebanon. Iran says there's no deal if Israel attacks Hezbollah. US Vice President J.D. Vance cancelled his trip, but he cancelled it for a different reason. His spokesman said that they are still finalizing the plans. At the center of all this was Israel and Hezbollah. You may already know from yesterday's On Edge report that the US-Iran agreement calls for the ceasefire between the two countries, the two groups, I would say. It also demands that Israel pull out all of its troops from all of Lebanon. Lebanese Parliament Speaker, Hezbollah, also ally, Nabia Berri, a parliament speaker and an ally of Hezbollah, said that the terror group will commit to keeping the ceasefire as long as Israelis follow with the rules. Now, in the last 48 hours alone, Hezbollah launched about 63 rockets at IDF soldiers, about, countless of drones and other artillery and one missile. 4 IDF soldiers were killed. That was very sad. This included a 32-year-old Dor Gedalia ben Shimon, who was a commander of the 52nd Battalion Brigade, the 401st Brigade, Israel is not going to simply absorb that and pull back, obviously, so they hit back hard and struck roughly 100 Hezbollah targets across Lebanon overnight. US Vice President J.D. Vance explained in one of his interviews, the many interviews he had yesterday, I told you, Israel doesn't give up the right to self-defense if Hezbollah fires rockets or drones at them. And that is exactly what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a few days before the agreement was even signed. He said, in response to Trump's post on Truth Social, the United States is committed to peace, and we encourage everyone in the Middle East region to maintain their commitment to allowing our negotiations to beautifully unfold. The markets are loving what's happening, and he says the oil prices are way down and stocks way up. We expect a complete ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Israel. CNN later reported that after this, and the US told Iran that Israel will stop its attacks. And that's exactly what they said they'll do. Tehran should be the one telling Hezbollah to stop. Well, if you think about it, since Hezbollah takes orders from Iran, the IRGC can tell them to stop. But it's never going to happen. As for an Israeli withdrawal, that is a separate issue. Israel said that it will not happen until either southern Lebanon is cleared of Hezbollah or Hezbollah surrenders its weapons. Well, Hezbollah's leader, Sheikh Naim Qasem, answered that head-on, he said, quote, Israel will leave the last inch of Lebanese soil. Be sure of that, he says. Victory means the expulsion of Israel from our land, and it will definitely be achieved. We are not people of surrender, he says. So far, the rest of the agreement is still in place. Iran agreed to invite United Nations inspections to its nuclear site, according to the official Steve Witkoff. J.D. Vance, the vice president, explained, you really have a win-win situation for the United States of America. If the Iranians don't change their behavior, their military and their nuclear program is still destroyed. If they do change their behavior, then they are going to have a transformative relationship with the Middle East. And the Middle East will have a transformative relationship with the people of Iran. But when asked about Iran's capability to rebuild their nuclear program, J.D. Vance said they need a lot of money to do that first. And that's exactly where Republican Senator Roger Wicker is worried about. You see, Iran will receive $1 trillion during this deal. This is $100 billion in unfrozen Iranian money, plus $300 billion in rebuilding funds, plus $600 billion in oil sales expected over the next 10 years. That adds up to about $1 trillion in 10 years. The Financial Times reports that Trump's administration has already let Iran access $6 billion. That's for humanitarian purchases and other non-sanctioned goods. This is being heavily criticized by several lawmakers, but J.D. Vance defended his decision. And he says, this decision obviously, he explained that by removing the sanctions, the US will be able to see where Iran is sending and receiving money. True enough, that investigation is already ongoing. The DOJ just targeted financial companies JP Morgan Chase and Citigroup for their connection to Iranian Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei, the younger new leader. They are asking how Khamenei built a large investment portfolio with exposure to Wall Street banks. On the other hand, defense official Stephen Feinberg said that the US military needs $80 billion to pay for the Iran war. That seems small compared to what Iran will be receiving, right? Anyway, let's continue. Now, everyone is probably confused. Is this a good deal or a bad deal? Let me break it down. All right. First, the money. People, obviously, right, keep comparing this to the old Obama deal. Under Obama, Iran got back tens of billions of dollars in frozen money and nothing for rebuilding, obviously. Now, the new deal is much bigger. $100 billion in frozen money, $300 billion to rebuild Iran, plus all the oil they can now sell, which we spoke about, can reach about $1 trillion. But here's the key. Who pays that $300 billion and how? It's not decided yet. Trump says no American money is going in, and it would come from the Gulf states only. And the full deal isn't even public. So anyone who says the money is locked in and they're going to get it doesn't really know what they're talking about. Now, some people are saying that American negotiators, Steve Witkoff, who's the Jewish investor, and Jared Kushner, who is a Jewish investor too, were paid off by Qatar. Here's the truth. There is a real problem. Kushner's investments hold over $6 billion, and almost all of it comes from the Gulf governments, including Qatar. Congress is looking into it, obviously. But that's a conflict of interest. It's not proof that anyone was actually bribed. And many people, including Ben Shapiro, who strongly backed the war, call this deal, obviously, a disaster. They say it doesn't even reach a single goal America set when the war started. It doesn't end Iran's nuclear program, and it doesn't stop their missile production, and it doesn't stop Iran from funding terror groups. Many, including Shapiro, put the blame on, obviously, Vice President J.D. Vance, who led the talks. So yes, you could call this a bad deal. That's fair. But don't spread conspiracy theories and lies that have no basis. Criticizing a deal is one thing, making things up is another. So here at On Edge, that's why we are very resourceful with the right factual news. We look up every single claim, every single argument made out there, and that's why one of our callers called us making this claim. So we had to go and check exactly what he's saying. So yes, while they do maybe have investments with other countries, you don't know, you can't say, especially tell that, there was a report of an Israeli journalist who blamed Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff for selling out their brothers in Israel to Qatar. And while it might be true, you don't know that. So you can't report something you don't know, and I will definitely not report such lies. All right. Such conspiracy theories. On a serious note, hardline Iranian cleric has openly called for President Trump to be assassinated on American soil. This isn't the first time since the war. A number of senior Iranian clerics have already put out religious rulings calling for Trump's death, and reports say large sums of money were even raised to fund for an assassination. They tried twice. Still, not everyone in Iran is against the deal. Alireza Jafazarabadeh, an Iranian resistance leader, is praising the new agreement between the United States and Iran, saying any chance to end the war should be welcomed. But the most important opinion in Iran belongs to the supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, who put out a written statement yesterday. He said that he did not want the deal originally, but he only approved it because President Pezeshkian assured him. Then he called Trump desperate. He has also explained that if the American side asks for too much, they will not accept it. He said, quote, "It is obvious that the future face-to-face negotiations will not mean acceptance of the enemy's opinion," which means they're probably going to meet face-to-face. We don't know that. Anyway, but Trump responded in Truth Social to that. Quote, "We didn't meet out of desperation. Iran did. They are, in big caps, finished. We'll play out the 60 days. They got no money. Not 10 cents, he says. He also emphasized how much Iran already lost. He posted, "The war has diminished Iran. It doesn't any longer have an air force, a navy, anti-aircraft equipment, radar, or practically anything else." So, you have two very different pictures here. Lawmakers warning about $1 trillion and Trump saying Iran gets not even 10 cents. So, I'll let you think. Kuwait's Petroleum Corporation announced that it is removing all emergency limits because the war has ended. The country is officially increasing its oil production. Within a week, Kuwait expects to pump out 2 million barrels of oil per day. Let's talk about you. Now, you can pump out that way. It's great. Good for you. But you know how you can pump it out? By injecting kosher skinny shot. You can go and call Kosher Skinny Shot today. A stronger father, a healthier mother, a happier, more energetic you. Kosher Skinny Shot is designed to help you lose weight and even maintain your weight, build better habits, and stay committed to your goals. So you can sign up today by calling 845-456-8924. Again, the number is 845-456-8924. And because at On Edge, we are we care about our listeners, we partner with Kosher Skinny Shot to get them a winner for a free month. So you can call my number on 845-671-1775, press 5, say your name and telephone number, and you will win a 1 free month with Kosher Skinny Shot by entering the GoRull. Okay, quick disclaimer, compound medications are not FDA approved and require a doctor's prescription. So, again, make sure to call your doctor and call Kosher Skinny Shot to find out about the safety information about that. All right, let's continue the news, shall we? Even with all the political disagreements, Netanyahu said that he wants to preserve the vital relationship between the US and Israel. Trump said that he will likely support Netanyahu in the election, but added that it depends on who ends up running against him. J.D. Vance also confirmed that Netanyahu did not seem angry during their conversation, and he said, but towards the other Israeli leaders, Vance sent out a direct warning. He told Bezalel Smotrich and Tamar Ben-Gvir, along with other Likud officials, not to insult President Trump. He said that the US built and paid for most of Israel's weapons over the last 3 months. Israel's minister Miki Zohar replied and said that Israeli spies save many American lives. He also said that American soldiers use Israeli technology before anyone else does. And he said that if people are basically, thinking that Israel depends on America, they should say the other way around, that really the truth is America depends on Israel. In Yerushalayim, people are sharing an old message from Reb Moshe Sternbuch Shlita. He warned the community that the American government will not save them, and that people should not rely on Trump or anyone else, but rely on Hashem. And this is a real reason where we are coming. We're living real times that the Nevi'im of 2,500 years ago have actually written in Novi. If you learn a little bit Torah, Nevi'im Eksidim, you will see. They said this is going to happen. V'chati giborechu taimon. In other words, it means that Yogaboyrim, who you think are Yogaboyrim, the President Trump will save the world. Nechte getug. Hashem is the one. Hashem Yelekim. Hashem yilochem lachem. When you feel alone, you feel, what's happening to the world? What's going on? He's not with us. He's not supporting us. You believe me, when they become weakened, it means one thing only. Hashem is showing them who is boss. And that's our lesson for today. But let's continue. Israeli aerospace industries have conducted a new test of LoRa ballistic missiles. Now, this long-range artillery, LoRa, weapon can travel up to 400 kilometers, that's about 250 miles, and is highly accurate, very accurate. It's designed to strike within 10 meters of its target, which is really accurate, by the way. Think about it. The missile system can be launched from both land and sea, which gives the Israeli military another option for targeted strikes at long distances. In America, primary elections are happening across the 50 states, midterm. Though many of Trump's allies have already won. He posted on Truth Social, "The Democrats are better at one thing than the Republicans. Cheating," he writes. Less than 4 weeks after taking his job, Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh is making huge changes to how the national bank works. He is ending a system used for the last 15 years. During his first meeting, Warsh said the money markets should guide the bank instead of the bank guiding the markets. They will start using simple short messages and hold fewer meetings with reporters, obviously. Kevin Warsh is dropping the habit of telling the public exactly what the bank plans to do next. In a new strict message about keeping prices down, half of the top Federal Reserve leaders said that they want to raise interest rates at least once this year. Warsh himself decided to skip the vote and did not give his own guess. The threat of a higher interest rate pushed the stock market down. Money traders also started placing big bets that the value of the dollar will go up. Former bank president Patrick Harker agreed with keeping quiet for now, mostly because no one knows what the Iran war will do every single day. Prices steigt so. In Chicago, the long-delayed Obama Presidential Center, an expensive one, is finally opening. Former presidents Biden, Clinton, and George W. Bush all showed up. Trump was the only living president who did not. One person was killed and 5 others were injured after a private jet crashed onto Texas highway on Wednesday night. The NetJets aircraft was making an emergency landing when it went down near Laredo. Fortunately, no one on the ground was hurt in the crash. Reports say the exact cause of the emergency is not confirmed yet. Next story. Gunshots sent tourists running for cover in New York's Times Square yesterday. Yeah, in New York. Videos show at least 2 people in black clothing stepping into a crowded intersection and firing handguns. People panicked and tried to get away as the shooters ran down the street. Police officers who were already on patrol quickly chased them down. Authorities say a 17-year-old is now in police custody and 1 person was taken into the hospital. The shooting happened just after a massive parade for the New York Knicks finished in Lower Manhattan. Just last weekend, another 17-year-old was shot in Times Square while fans were celebrating the team's victory by firing and literally putting buses on fire. I reported it here. You remember. U.S. agencies stopped several drones near FIFA, the FIFA World Cup sites, since the tournament started last week. 50 drones, my friends. Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen announced that they found more than 50 drones. The Federal Aviation Administration has completely banned drones from flying over the World Cup matches or fan events across the country, out of fear that it might have hostility or explosives in there. So you won't be afraid when you go and borrow money from the bank, right? Because you know that you can trust YS Capital Group. You won't have to go to the bank for that. 718-831-2168. Your trusted, most direct, fast approval lender out there with no closing costs. Find out yourself. Mention on Edge. 718-831-2168. That's YS Capital Group. In Britain, Labour Mayor, the mayor, Andy Burnham, his name is, won a special election, giving him a shot at challenging Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Yes, to basically take over the party and become the next Prime Minister, maybe, if he wins. Karim Khan, the International Criminal Court lawyer who went after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has now been suspended over harassment charges. And next month, the court votes on whether to remove him for good. In the meantime, UK Solicitors Regulation Authority has announced his temporary suspension. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni hit back at Trump after he claimed she begged him for a photo at the G7. She says it never happened and that Trump respects the enemies of the West more than America's old friends. She went to Iran. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said that Trump wants to restart talks again. He wants to restart talks again with North Korea. Yeah, the leader Kim Jong-un. Lee said that Trump was frustrated about how to move forward. He told Trump that sanctions and pressure on North Korea aren't just working anymore. So he needs to talk to them. Protobite is working though, because you know how to get Protobite to work for you by calling them on 347-354-1237. Again, the number is 347 354-1237. That's Protobite, okay? Now you know how to call Protobite for your software development needs. Now let's have a break from all the fighting. The Yiddish play industry witness peace in the middle. I'm joking. Peace in America. Peace between the Intern and Epic. If you know the Yiddish plays, after years of competing in the Yiddish plays industry, obviously competing. I mean, working. Everyone has their own thing, but it's a beautiful thing to see. Competition is a stigma. It's a stigma amongst many industries. But after years of working together, I would say, everyone on their own stages, the two industries came together. Now, people thought, from a marketing perspective, that everyone is going to do their own together. They're going to join together somehow. But no, they're joined together in peace. They're both going to do separate plays, obviously, because, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm part of the Epic family play. I acted in two of their plays already. And I myself know Reb Chaim Itzkevich, who is a man of peace, a man of beauty, a good-hearted person. He always wants to make peace. Whenever there's something going on, he never gets frustrated. He always takes the next, whenever something goes out of control, he says, I know it milvada. It's his famous line. He loves saying that, and he means it. And that's why him and his team went and they pursued peace. They didn't want to make a big deal. They both put out a post, and they both announced their plays this Chalamoid Sikas. And it happened to be, but it's, one takes the other, and it could really affect the financial strain of it to be able to sell tickets on both ends, and everyone wants to go to the plays, and out it goes. So they want to make it worthwhile for everyone, and they made a deal together, and obviously Reb Chaim gave in and said, you make the play this year, we'll make it next year. And they, at the happy moment obviously concluded at the Sheva Bruchas of the daughter of Reb Shlomi Steinmetz, who Mazel Tov, by the way. I work with him a lot, Reb Shlomi. He's a great business ally. We work together a lot, so yes, he's one of the producers of Intern with the Blades and Ihos, and they were there on the stage together with Gershy Schwarcz, and Leiby Vida was there, and obviously Zevi Weber from Ovens was there together on the stage with Reb Chaim Itzkevich, and obviously Reb Naftula Herzke himself was also there, the writer and the director and the visionary as well of the Epic family play. So it was a beautiful scene to see, and I'll show you myself. You can.
Achdes is wussig gewinnt. In Hashem ois lami hinter Hashem Yehureich, as Amoy Bashula, the Volk was lebt mit Shula. Da hat helfen, as Anna Bruche, bei Leser, bei Shloimi, bei der Koppel, bei Yossel, bei Yonesh, bei jedem einen, bei Zevi. Also ich stand über der Seite, auch gesehen, soll werden im Sidder. Bei jedem einen ist er rausgelaufen, bis er da hat helfen weiter. Hashem Yehureich, as Amoy Bashula. Isaac Zieleit, was er dachte, wo Hashem du Schurum zwischen Reb Chaim and Reb Lezer, ich und Zevi vertrugen sich noch nicht.
That's typical Gershy Schwarcz making his joke. If you understood it, you understood. If you didn't, I'll tell you. Basically, he said that Reb Chaim and Reb Lezer made Shulam, obviously, but he said Gershy Schwarcz said me and Zevi vertrugen sich noch nicht. Me and Zevi still don't get along with each other. He made a joke, obviously. Obviously, he gets along with him. He's a fun man. They're both fun people. Anyway. So basically, the Epic play will, the Intern play will happen this Chalamoid Sikas, Tufshim Pai Zion, and the Tufshim Pai Ches Chalamoid Sikas will be Epics. So yeah, it's a great story. I love finishing with such stories. Oh, it makes me feel good. Okay, let's continue with Arrive Express, 845-622-1111. Arrive Express, 845-254-1111. My friends, have yourselves a wonderful Shabbos. May this Shabbos lead to peace, finally. And Hashem Yiluchem Lechem, and Hashem Yivudach Amay Bashulaim, and Taka bring us to Mashiach, with Mashiach Tzidkayni V'Mahir to Mashiach, to the Beis HaMikdash, and we should all see beautiful things. Like a Shabbos.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.